Alright boys, open beta time. Exciting stuff. Hopefully the queues aren't too bad. Luckily I won't know because due to a time difference I'll be in bed at the time that the beta launches. Yeah, who knows, I'll probably still get in at the same time as everyone else. Anyways, while you're waiting, I have here for you a Necromancer build that I think you might be interested in testing. This is going to be a corpse explosion, hard CC, super duper gory build, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to trying this one out. I'm going to blast a Necromancer, I think first when I get my hands on the open beta. I will be streaming this whole thing. My Twitch will be down in the description below. Anyways, let's jump into the build. Okay, so kicking the build off, I'm going to take Reap at level 2. Now, you can actually choose any of these basic skills at this point, so it doesn't matter. We'll be coming back and changing this talent choice in a couple more levels. But for me, I'm going to be using Reap, and then I'm going to be clicking a point into Enhanced Reap at level 3, which will give me a small attack speed boost if an enemy dies from Reap within a certain time period. Then at level 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to put a point into Blight, which will unleash a small amount of damage on an enemy, but then leave behind a large damage over time area on the ground. I'm going to enhance that ability so that enemies in it are slowed by 25%, and then put a point into Supernatural Blight, which will cause enemies within it to take 10% increased damage from my minions. At level 7, we go back and take a specialized point in our basic skill. Now for me, again, that was Reap. I'm going to put a point into Initiate's Reap, which will cause it to execute enemies below 5% HP. At level 8, 9, and 10, we take Blood Mist, which is our defensive. We turn into a mist of blood, and any enemies that stand within it will be slowly damaged and heal us for a small amount. We're going to enhance that ability so that we get a slight reduction in cooldown if any of our skills overpower. Then at level 10, we are going to go into the Ghastly Blood Mist talent, because this will give us a corpse every couple of seconds while in Blood Mist. And this is going to be very important for this build because we want to create as many corpses as possible. Now at level 11, things are going to get pretty exciting. We're going to put 1 point into Corpse Explosion. And this is basically what the build is built around. We're going to detonate a corpse, dealing a massive amount of AoE damage. At the same time, we're going to want to go back as well and change from Reap or whatever basic skill that we chose and go into Decompose, Enhanced Decompose, and then Acolyte's Decompose. Now, unfortunately, Decompose is a channeled ability, so you're going to have to be pretty smart with your positioning when using this one. It does a fair bit of damage over time and creates a corpse every couple of seconds. Enhanced makes it so that we generate more essence while using it, and then Acolytes causes our minions to deal more damage while using it. So you kind of want to try and target a larger, tankier enemy when using Decompose. Then, going back to Corpse Explosion at level 12, you're going to want to get Enhanced, and this will increase the radius of the explosion. And then at level 13, we are going to get Plagued Corpse Explosion, which gives us a damage multiplier if the enemies are slowed, stunned, or vulnerable, which this build will actually do all three to. Levels 14, 15, and 16 is nice and easy. We put 3 points into Skeletal Warrior Mastery. This will greatly increase the performance of our Skeletal Warriors. And then at level 17, we put 1 more point into Corpse Explosions. Levels 18, 19, and 20, we get Corpse Tendrils, which is an ability that is going to be very integral to this build. It's going to create a pull-in effect at a corpse, which will stun all the enemies once they reach the center and deal a small amount of damage to them. Now, you can probably see where the synergy is here. We're going to drag all the enemies in and then detonate the corpse for a very satisfying explosion of gore. Yeah, and then level 19 is, of course, Enhanced Tendrils, which will slow enemies prior to being pulled in. And then at level 20, we are going to be getting Plagued Corpse Tendrils, which will apply a vulnerable debuff to the enemies for a few seconds when hit by this. So we're getting a stun, a slow, and vulnerable from this, and then detonating the corpse for some huge damage. At levels 20 to 24, we're going to max out Blight so that we can get some really nice consistent damage from that. And then finally, at level 25, we take our ultimate Army of the Dead, where we summon bomb skeletons that just come up and start exploding when they get near to enemies. Once you've unlocked a couple more points from Renown, I would max out your ultimate by taking Prime and then Supreme Army of the Dead to greatly increase the power of this. Then as for your Book of the Dead setup, I would go for Skeleton Skirmishers, the Cold Mages, and the Iron Golem, because this will synergize the best with your build. And then in terms of gearing goes, now this isn't solved by any way, shape or form. Please think of this as more of a guideline than anything else. But you cannot go wrong with taking +1 to any of the skills that you use. This is actually a very powerful stat to get if you can. Anything then that increases the core, the basic, or the damage over time values. And then anything that increases damage versus crowd controlled enemies. You can't go wrong with any of that. As always, what I'll do is I'll leave a link to the complete build in a build calculator down in the description below. Along with that will be the links to all of my socials if you're into that kind of thing. Also, a huge shout out to my Patreon supporter. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to catch more content from me, then also consider giving the channel a sub. And until next time, boys, take care. Peace, kisses. See you later. Bye.